What's up, everybody? Anthony here, specialtymotorcars.net, and behind me you will see a Brougham looking for a new home. This is a beautiful 1991 Cadillac Brougham D'Elegance in a stunning light sapphire. This is the first time I've actually ever had one in this color combination. 5.7 liter, 79,000 miles. This is going to be an excellent entry-level Brougham for those who aren't looking to spend $20,000-$30,000 on a high, point, collector style car. This is a really nice driver. Like I said, it's got the right equipment. 5.7 D'Elegance, beautiful color combination. Going to show you this video, do a walk around of this car. We're going to take it for a little spin, back to the shop. It's Labor Day. You're not going to see this video till Tuesday, but after this, I'm heading out with the family in a convertible for one last fun afternoon before summer is officially over. So let's get into the video. And here she is, a beautiful light sapphire 1991 Cadillac Brougham D'Elegance. Now the light sapphire is kind of this sky blue or baby blue color, where the dark sapphire was the almost black color or real dark navy blue that I've had quite a few of. But surprisingly, this is the first, light sapphire Brougham of this vintage that I've ever had. I believe there's one more color Brougham out there that I haven't had yet. I won't say what it is because I have a located one. Working on a deal on the car as we speak, so I don't want to jinx myself. But anyways, you'll see it on the channel, obviously, if we can get a deal done. But this is a beautiful car. This is a Virginia car its entire life. I bought it from the family of the original owner. They inherited this car, and they kept it for many years and very rarely drove it. It just sat in their garage. And they reached out to me to sell the car to me, which I always love because, it's nice when you're recognized as somebody to call and say, hey, I got this car for sale. I know you deal with these. Are you interested? Makes for an easy transaction. It's not like, an auction where you got to bid for a car. It's just easy. Yep, I'll take it, or I won't, or, negotiation is easy. This is a really easy transaction for me. And I love buying cars off the street. So it's a 79,000 mile example, and like I said in the intro, this is a driver quality car. It shows very well. It looks the part. It runs good, but it's not perfect. The car's had a repaint, and you know what? Before I get into the minor flaws, we'll say, this might be a case of me being super nitpicky on this car because I'm used to dealing with more perfect cars. Now there's some things on this car that I did not fix that I could have fixed, but I have to draw the line somewhere because the price point is important today, and a car like this, I haven't been able to offer a car like this in this price point in quite some time, especially since the market has gone crazy on these cars. So there's some things on this car that are little fixes. It's just time. And I have to recognize, and I've said it in a few videos before, that I try to make these cars as brand new as possible. And sometimes you just can't. It's just not possible, both in a business perspective, and it's just physically not possible in time and parts availability. And there's some things that bother me that might not bother somebody else. If somebody wants that driver quality car, this is the opportunity. This is the car. I don't get a lot like this, and normally I probably wouldn't have bought this car had it not been offered to me. So that's one of the reasons why I'm happy that I did buy this car, because I have a car in this price point that will work really well for somebody who's looking to get into a cool, nice old Cadillac and not spend $1 million. Now that that's out of the way, this car, it's a beautiful car. It's a rust-free Virginia car, or very rust-free. I do have a clip I'm going to put at the end of this video of the undercarriage of this car. We had it up on the lift, and it's very clean. But this car has some cosmetic drawbacks. That's why it's not a high caliber, collector car. One of the drawbacks being the fact that the car had been completely repainted at some point. And you know what, being a Southern car, it wouldn't be uncommon to see something like that. But this car has had a repaint in the past, and it looks good. You can see it's got a decent gloss to it. You know, considering 1991 era paint, I would say it's good. It's not perfect. You know, they taped up some stuff that I'll show and point out, like the mirrors and the door handles and stuff like that. But for overall, you know, looking at it like right here, you really don't notice it. It's when you get up and, you know, you want to nitpick stuff like that. That's when you notice, okay, well, you know, maybe they didn't take the mirrors off and stuff like that. But overall, it's got a really decent shine to it. And again, it looks the part. It's in the right colors. That's probably one of the, I guess, major kicks I'll give this car, you know, being a repaint car. But again, it looks well. The top on this car is a re-upholstered top. This top isn't the correct grain vinyl. You'll actually see these window pieces are the correct grain, so chances are they put a new top on it and did not recover these. But either way, looks good. Probably wouldn't have been something you'd ever pick up if I didn't tell you. But again, I know these cars so well that I can really nitpick this car. Now this car, I want to say some part of this car's life it sat outside, because when I got this car in, a lot of the emblems were faded out, and I had put nice used emblems on it. So that's one of the things that I see on this car. The other thing is these window sweeps. Very common for these things to start cracking. You can see here some cracking there. There's actually a section of this one missing, but they do make these in reproduction sweeps for all inside and outside of the windows. You can get an entire set, I think, for maybe $300. This is where I drew the line and said, okay, I'm not going to go too crazy. I'm making this car perfect. This one on the outside is actually missing as well. Because it's just more of my time equals more money I have to ask for this car, and this is where I wanted to be. So that's kind of where I'm at with this one. You know, those few things, I mean, amongst others that I'm going to point out, but those are the major drawbacks on this car. But let's go around it. We'll show you some of the closer up details of this car, and we'll show you the good, the bad, and whatever. Anyways, it does have a little chip in the paint there up on the header. I know another one here as well. Bright work on the front end is in pretty nice shape. On the top part of the chrome, you can see some like what I call salt and pepper marks, but basically little freckles in the chrome. And you can see some wear there, and there's a pretty bad section of it here where the water dripping down. That's why I'm saying this car must have been outside some point in its life, and that's probably why it got a repaint. But for the most part, bright work on the front of this car is in real nice shape, nice and bright. Impact strips show well. Some minor little cracking. This is a little chip right there. Corner lights are in nice shape. Bumper corners show well. But you can see some very slight pepper marks in all the chrome. A little chip right there as well. Nice match set of Hankook Optimo tires with a nice set of hubcaps. I think these tires, I can find a date code, 2015. So they're probably kind of at the end of their life, something to consider. They got good tread on them. I didn't see any dry rot on them, so, you know, they're good for that, you know, occasional driver. And that's what this car has been for the last few years of its life. Slight oxidation, you know, you could polish this stainless up better than it is. And again, you can see here spots where the moldings and mirrors and stuff had been taped. All the chrome rockers, cladding, a few little marks here and there, some random stuff throughout, chips. It does have a few very light scratches right here in the door. But again, you can see up close a few spots and even some little minor defects in the chrome. Windshield looks good. PPG glass. I think that might be original. I'm not sure. Top shows well. Like I said, I did pop new emblems on here because these were all faded out. Not new, nice used, I should say. There is some crazing in the clear. You can see almost like a little like halo-y effect there. A little bit right in there as well. I believe you can somewhat see it on the top part. Yeah, right in here of this quarter. You know, if you're up looking down on it, though, if you're here, you don't really notice it. Another Hankook Optimo tire. And the cladding down the side here. Brougham D'Elegance emblems. You can see a little bit of the backing of the paint that's starting to come off. These are all new filler panels, replacement filler panels. Color match on them isn't perfect, but it is what it is. But these, these are replacement filler panels. Those are replaced. These ones are all replaced as well. I don't know if it was the matching of the paint that, you know, because the car has been painted, the car is a shade off or what, but it looks all right. It looks better than him being missing, basically, I guess is where I'll go with that. You can see here some odd wear on the chrome bumper end. It's kind of weird. It's almost like the chrome wore off, but just on the bottom there, but oddly enough, the other side is fine. Same on the front bumper and the back bumper. You can see the few little kind of pitting in the chrome. Not real pitting, I guess I would say. It's like little pepper marks. And that's usually an indication that the car had been outside. The rain, the weather gets to it. This is a replacement. Is the Cadillac 5.7 liter. Some minor pit marks in the chrome of that. Rear bumper is in nice shape on the face here. No pitting or bubbles. It's one good thing, I guess, about it being a Southern car is there's no rust on the common places, and the common places being the rear bumper strip. You can see, though, some little marks here. Looks like a little crack or a piece that broke out that might have been re-glued back in there at some point. This chrome bumper end looks good. Again, new replacement fillers. Is this a... Looks like maybe I just missed a watermark there. Went up over the deck lid. Shows nice. A few little spots where the paint chipped off there. Now, another thing that I replaced when this car came in is when they did put this top on, they must not have cared to get clips, the right clips for these two pieces, because somebody had used sheet metal screws to screw these two pieces on. So I had these pieces and new clips, so I refastened that. But you can see kind of where the old spot or the old molding met and kind of wore a little spot there. Now she's just a little bit of surface rust, probably from just sitting on top of the paint. Yeah, that actually chips off. I don't know why they wouldn't have put, you know, new clips. The clips are available. I had them. So that's one of the things that I popped on along with the emblems. Just little cosmetic things I did here and there. Another Hankook Optimo. Again, car shows real well. Just got those normal little nicks and dings. I showed you the weather strip. Now, oddly enough, this is kind of strange. Most of my low mileage cars, these work. This one works really great. The other side is about 3/4 of the way lit. It's something I don't see very often. You can see a little scuff right there. And then it looks like this molding here, you can see a little wave in it. Must have been dented or something at one point, and they took it off and straightened it out. You can kind of see a little bit of a distortion there. Come around here. Fender looks good. Chrome rocker. This hubcap, I think, was the only hubcap that shows a few spots of curb rash. A little bit of a chip right there. Overall, like I said, the car shows well. I'm being real hard on this car because I am more used to that real perfect, real you know, high pedigree car, and I'm not knocking this car. I actually thoroughly enjoyed having this car here because it's a car you can get in, drive, and enjoy, and not worry that much about. Again, I'm not trying to use that to devalue the car or downgrade the car, but because it's not perfect, because it's not a 10,000 mile, you know, original, untouched example, you know, you wouldn't mind if, you know, someone leaned against it, or, you know, you got a little ding in it here or there or whatever, because it's, you know, it's already kind of been seasoned or aged a little bit. But you take one of my cars, and I'm guilty of it. I don't enjoy my cars because I'm petrified of something happening to them. And this car you can enjoy and still bring to a car show and not worry about. So that's one of the benefits of this car. All right, now let's dive on into the inside of this Light Sapphire Brougham, and then we'll take it for a spin. Back to the shop. All right, it's midday. There's not a lot of shade, so I pulled it under the tree here just so we can take a look on the inside of this Brougham. Now, it's back to school. Summer is officially over now that it's Labor Day, per se. It's the unofficial end of summer. But boy, is it heating up. All this week is going to be hot, hot, hot. And I got a ton of cars to take videos and pictures of upcoming this week. So inside you can see here beautiful navy blue D'Elegance velour, which is absolutely my favorite. I think it's so comfortable. I love leather, but I love the velour in these cars. And again, you can see down here, nice, clean, rust-free car, all inside the door jambs. Really, really clean. A little bit of wear here on this hinge cover. Looks like at some point there might have been a little bit of a bee's nest in there that got taken out. But real nice points of this interior. No cracks in the driver's door armrest. All the chrome switches. This does have the factory CD player option, which is pretty rare, which is neat. Leather wrapped wheel. Does have obviously the dual power seats. It still has the original CD player in the dash, although it doesn't function. But real clean upholstery. It does have a replacement headliner by the previous owner, not by me. So another kind of weak point that's been addressed. Rear fillers, headliner. I did replace the dash pad on this car. That had a few cracks in it. Real nice used piece I put in there. So the interior shows real well. I got the original floor mats in the trunk. You can see the carpeting shows real well here, down below as well. This piece is coming just a little bit unglued. You can see the old glue underneath it. But overall, not bad. Upholstery shows nice and clean. You know, no abnormal wear. Maybe just a little bit of kind of cloth wear going on right there. I did service both recliners. So both recliners work perfectly. All the switches and everything real bright on here. Boy, is it hot out today. I should be at home, relax and relax, and it's Labor Day, but you know what? It is what it is. Nice, clean. All inside the jambs, again, no rust. You know, that's one of the benefits of this car, is it's a very rust-free car. You know, you look at it one way or the other. You know, you can have a super rusty car with nice original paint, but blisters coming out everywhere. This car doesn't have that, so seat backs are in nice shape, back seat. All this has been all freshly shampooed. It's got a nice pleasant smell to it. Again, the carpeting shows real well. Come around the back here. Inside the jam. Door panels, again, all in really nice shape. We are missing a cigarette lighter, which I probably have. Obviously, I probably didn't even open this, or maybe I forgot, but I will put a cigarette lighter insert in there. Not that you need one to smoke, but It's always nice to have it all complete. Rear upholstery, and you can see my shampoo marks in it. Really cleaned up nice. Carpeting. Again, real nice velour D'Elegance. There's the argument, leather, cloth, you know, velour or leather. And my first Brougham was a velour Brougham, and I loved it. And the longest one that I've had in my collection, which has this identical Navy Velour, I just absolutely adore. I actually have two with Navy Velour. All my other cars are leather cars. These are the door speaker pods, come with the accessory CD player option, but you can see all up here nice and clean, no splits, all the chrome switches, the wood trim, real nice. Come across the dash there. Carpeting, it does have the original litter bin, door sills. One of the things that is kind of a defect, and I really don't have a fix for it quite yet, as you can see, like a little spot here. Here is not too bad, but essentially the plastic on the inside of this is broken. It's got to be a way to try to figure out to reinforce that, but if you put your elbow here, you'll get a little sinking. If you put your arm on it, it's not too bad. That's from somebody getting in and out and just continually putting their arm there to kind of assist them getting in. Oh, figures. Now the sun goes behind the clouds, but anyways, we'll jump behind the wheel, pop the hood, pop the trunk, then we'll take it for a spin back to the shop. All right, behind the wheel here, before we take off, I'd like to show you what I got for keys. I do have one original set of GM keys, and then a, you know, hardware store special duplicate key cut. But we'll start this. Ooh, still got the chime that works. That's good. We'll start this up. Show you all the telltale lights that light up. 79,738 miles on this car. And we're going to turn the air on because I'll turn it on low for now. Just to start getting the inside of this car cooled down. Show you what we got hanging out inside the glove box here. I do have the original Driscoll, I don't know why someone put their name on it, but this is a hubcap key for the car. It has the orange hubcap locks. This is part of the build sheet process. This is located underneath the driver's seat when you take the upholstery off. Obviously that's what I do when I service the recliners on these cars. Francis Garrett was the original owner of this car in Fork Union, Virginia. Bought new 131 of 91 with 25 miles on it. Is this the original? No, that's just a tag for the trunk. Has the original books. I do not have a window sticker for this car, unfortunately. But you know, it is what it is there. That's kind of a hit or miss thing, whether you get that with these cars or not. Coming out here, this is much nicer with the clouds hiding the sun. Nice tidy engine compartment under here, 5.7 liter Chevy 350. It does have a newer radiator. It does have a newer upper radiator hose, newer alternator. AC has been converted previous to my ownership to the 134, but clean and tidy under here, you know, not crazy rusty or anything like that. Again, not perfect. Some of the plastic looming starts to deteriorate and come off those wires, but if you wanted to spend a little bit of time and put new wire loom on that, you know, that would tidy it up a little bit. But overall, nice engine bay. It does have a quick disconnect for the battery, which is pretty neat. I like that. I might start installing that in my cars instead of doing what I always do, which is unhook the battery itself. come around to the back here. I do have all 4 original floor mats. You can see a little bit of a heel mark and some wear on the driver's side. Don't mind me here. This is just me staying hydrated and my window cleaner. But all the trunk material is in nice shape. You know, a few little minor stain marks here and there. It does have the original Cadillac floor mat underneath it. And this car also has the locking and unlocking rear gas door option as well. Inside the deck lid here, you can see the spid tag. Power trunk pull down works perfectly. And just pop that down here, you can see nice and clean inside there as well. Overall, now that the sun's not beating down on me, you can see the car shows really well all the way around. Presents well, looks the part. All right, let's take her first spin. All right, now let's take the 91 Brougham for a spin. Show you what she's got on the road. This is a pretty, I would say, standard option D'Elegance, having the D'Elegance interior, obviously D'Elegance package, Twilight Sentinel. I guess the biggest option that this car has that is pretty rare in these cars is the CD player with the speaker pods. Now, up until probably 2 years ago, I always thought that Cadillac added the speaker pods on the doors along with the other 4 speakers that were included with these cars. You have the 2 up on the deck, on the dash here, and then the 2 on the rear shelf. Until I took a dash pad out of one of my parts cars that is a speaker pod car, realizing they have block-off plates. So I don't know why Cadillac did that. You know, adding 2 more speakers would have been a better idea rather than taking 2 out to put 2 in and saying like, ooh, it's got a different kind of sound system. But unfortunately, the radio does not operate in this car, and it's not the radio, it is the amp. The amp in these cars is kind of a weak spot on these cars, and it essentially creates an in-op radio. It's not a fuse or anything like that. What I am including with this car is what came with it is a replacement touchscreen radio that goes with this car, plugs right in and functions. I just like the look of the original radio, and that's why I went and put this in, only to realize the amp was no good. With the aftermarket radio, you don't need the factory amp. That's one of the benefits, but so that's another reason why, you know, again, I drew the line on this car on a few things, the radio, the door sweep, stuff like that. It just, again, I wanted to make this car price point. This car runs down the road. Oop, let's get over to the next lane here. Oop, we got a 2nd gen Escalade getting bagged. Could be Big Al. You know, I did as much as I could with cosmetics. Like I said, I did replace the dash pad in this car. I replaced this auto dimming mirror as well. Oh geez, we got 2 of them. They are busted them today. We're gonna just cruise right by and pretend we're not filming, because you're not supposed to have a camera or a phone in your hand. Nothing going on here, just trying to sell a Cadillac. I forgot where I was. Oh yeah, the emblems, you know, stuff like that. The trim around the rear of the vinyl top. I did do a few mechanical things. I did replace the fuel pump, the pickup hose inside the tank of this car, along with the fuel filter. When it came in, there was a small leak on one of the lower radiator hoses. The clamp was loose. Tighten that up. That's all set. I did top off the Freon in the AC, so we got cold air coming out. Replaced the headlight unit, was cracked. I have plenty of those in stock. Just little stuff like that. The car runs down the road great. It drives well. It's, like I said, an entry-level car, but a really decent one. And I might be knocking this. I think I kind of touched on that before. I might be knocking this a little too much because I know not every Brougham out there for sale is a super nice one, and I might just be brutally honest in describing this car, and I hope you take appreciation of that and not light me up in the comments like I feel I might get, because this isn't up to your standards, Anthony. Why are you offering this? Well, this car was offered to me, through the family. I wasn't going to say no. Well, I could have said no, but I wasn't going to. Not everybody is looking for a $25,000 Brougham for a nice one these days. If this car was a perfect car with perfect original paint and a perfect original top and everything functioning and, just real nice, this would have been $22,000 car, even with $79,000, maybe closer to 20. And it's not today. I would say, what I sell that gray one for? I had that gray D'Elegance that had like 76,000 miles, and that was like $25,000. But that was a really nice original car. So here I am. I'm going around in circles to try to justify what I don't have to justify. It's a nice car. It's got great bones. It's a great looking car. For somebody who wants to get into one under 15 grand is going to love this car. Now, that's where we're going to go, is the price. That's what everybody's waiting to hear. Price on this 91 Brougham D'Elegance is going to be $11,995. And with that, I hope this car goes to a great loving home. That's one thing I did promise the folks that I bought the car from, and that's really what they wanted to do. They wanted someone to enjoy it because they inherited the car and they only put a few hundred miles on this car over the few years they had it. And they just want to see somebody enjoy it and use it, in there. I believe it was their aunt who owned this car, in, her name, as this was her baby or aunt and uncle's baby. And that's what they wanted to see, the car out and about and used and enjoyed. And I know they're going to appreciate seeing the video of the freshening up this car got, even just those few little cosmetic things. So, all right, here's the bottom of the 1991 Cadillac Brougham, light sapphire blue. I see a pretty clean car under here. It's got a lot of orange clay dust built up on kind of almost everything. It's even on the pumpkin here. Gas tank especially. Bottom of the quarters, nice and clean. Just surface rust on the frame. Exhaust has been replaced at some point. It's not the original. Looks like this rear shock is leaking. Maybe a little bit on that one too. Those are the original air shocks. I did just do a new fuel filter in this car. Fuel pump. Strainer in the tank. Transmission. It's dry. Did just do a fresh oil change as well. Oil and filter. Previous to my ownership, someone's put a new caliper in here. New caliper, looks like new pads and rotors in the front. And then the only other thing that we did here is we tightened up this lower radiator hose. Somebody had replaced the radiator, and this clamp was actually not tight. You can actually see the silver of the clamp of how much I tightened it, and that stopped the leak. So that's the 91 Brougham D'Elegance, 79,000 miles. Any questions, give me a call, 978-930-1004. Check out all the still pictures on my website, Specialty Motor Cars NH, like they paved the road here. Check me out on Instagram, especially Motorcars NH, and on Facebook. That's where I got all my sneak peeks. Got a lot of nice stuff coming up in like the next 2-3 weeks. I have a goal to sell 20 cars in the next 3 months. I'm starting off September real strong. I got this car coming up. I got a 97 town car with 4,000 miles coming up. I have a 2008 Lincoln Town Car Signature L with 39,000 miles coming up. I have the Yukon near done. That'll be up in the next 2 weeks. 3/4 ton Yukon with 52,000 miles. Ford Mustang convertible coming up. I got to sell some stuff down to make some space. Winter is coming. 20 cars in 3 months is my goal. This starts #1. So give me a call, 978-930-1004. If you want to check out those other cars, hit that subscribe button if you're not already. Get that notification bell on so that you know when I post these cars for sale. Like this one, I don't think it'll stick around too long once it goes live. So appreciate everybody for watching. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments of this car, the price point, the car, you know, what I did to it, what I didn't do to it. You know, I'm thick-skinned. I can take it, but we'll keep it PG. Anyways, thanks everybody for watching. We'll talk to you on the next one.